When I say assimilation, it will transform and convert it into a progressive enrichment process. But the whole success lies in a very good timely interaction with the enlightened and the wise people. Enlightened and the wise people. Our Usha comes wherever we go. Now, I say, when I look at your face, I am not, see, when I come to the ashram, I am all right. When you go home, why are you becoming miserable? See, so many months and years you have been coming here. Have you not gained the art and process of dealing with the mind? I am always asking her. I don't know why we suffer. Is the world yours? Are your parents yours? Are the children made by you? Can you make any extent of money in this world? Then why are you suffering? And to become happy, we only require the mind. What? We don't require anything else. We don't require gold. We don't require children. Joy and delight are an emotional creation of the mind. They belong only to the mind. Whoever has the mind, that mind can produce inexhaustible joy. That is the science of spirituality. But you must have an interaction with a Sadguru. Tirna swayam bhima bhavarnavam janan ahedunanyanapi tarayantaha. I narrated the episode to you only to tell you that in a matter of half an hour, 40 minutes, a person who has been suffering and suffering, saying that my whole flesh has been eaten up by sorrow, that person starts smiling. तब इसका अर्थ क्या है? आप ही बोलिए ना. तीर्णा स्वयं भीम भवार्णवम जनान अहेतुनान्यानपि तारयन्तः. This is verse number 37. There are some enlightened people living in this world. They have already crossed the ocean of worldliness themselves, and they are ready to help you and guide you cross the same ocean. So when you listen to the truth from a man who already knows it and realizes it, then only it will become meaningful and relevant. That is why Shankara has written this text in the form of a Guru-Shishya dialogue. Guru-Shishya dialogue. Your perception will have to be elevated from matter and energy to the sentient spirit in your own body. What did I say? Your perception has to be elevated from matter and energy, material and energial items which the senses perceive. Elevate the vision and lodge it in the spirit within the body, which is consciousness. We have matter and energy constituting the world, and after the world there is only one more item, that is consciousness, which you are. So you have to elevate it. The Sadguru alone will be able to lead your mind from the external to the internal and to unravel the mystery and potential, untold potential of your own mind. That is why Shishya tells the Guru, Brahmanandarasānubhūti kalidaihi pūtais sushihitair yutaihi Yushmadvak kalashodjitaihi Sudhi sukhaihi Vakyamrutais sejaya Santaptam bhavatapa Davadahanajwala bhirenam prabho Dhanyaste bhavadikshana kshanagate Vapatri grida svigrida. This is a submission the Shishya makes in front of the Guru. It has got a lot of meaning. That is why I recited this. The Shishya says, my mind and heart are being scorched by the blazing fire of the world. It's a very graphical way of description, typical of us, of Orientalists. My mind and heart are being scorched by the blazing fire of the world. Comfort it, my dear Lord, by shedding the cool waters of self-knowledge and realization. Cool waters, comfort. Those who become subject to your graceful glance are indeed very fortunate. This is the short meaning of the statement. It is presented in a very beautiful manner. See, please speak to me in such a manner. Speak to me in such a manner that I will have a cooling and a comforting effect. My mind is blazing. It is getting scorched. This is what he says. Wherever there is grievance, wherever there is conflict, wherever there is intolerance, always the victim is held in an enlightening dialogue by a seer. Parikshit was fated to die on the 7th day. Shukamuni held him in a dialogue till he died. Even before Takshaka arrived, Parikshit had already got away from the body consciousness and he had sunk into the soul. 6.5 days of conversation. Rama was spoken to by Vasishtha. Arjuna was spoken to by Krishna. Uddhava was spoken to by Krishna. Janaka was spoken to by Ashtavakra. Devahuti, the mother, was spoken to by her own son Kapila. My dear souls, there is no other way. That is why in our great holy country, satsang is held to be the highest in human life. Our people are interested in listening to satsang, whether it is Ramayana narration or Bhagavata narration or some other Purana. There are some people who will always flock there. You don't need anything else. It is an enlightening narration. The speaker, the Pravakta, has got ample magnitude there. It is up to him to decide where he should lead his listeners to. If he wants to lodge them in sin and virtue, he will lodge them there. If he wants to deliver them, elevate them from the grips of sin and virtue, he will elevate them. Rama was elevated in such a manner that he was asked by Vasishtha to sit on the throne, and rule the country, but without any desire and possessiveness. What?
Without any desire or possessiveness.
I wish our ministers come to me, the Prime Minister also. Then I will enable them to sit on the throne and rule the country without any desire or possessiveness. In Mahabharata, Raja Dharma is very highly rated. You know, the Raja Dharma is supreme. Between the Raja and Raja Dharma and one's own wife, Vedavyasa says, we should prefer first Raja. Only when Raja and his Dharma are there, we can live and walk freely in the country. Then only you have your wife dearly serving you, you dearly nursing her, etc. So the Raja Dharma, our Dharma is incomplete without Raja Dharma. Now it is Parliament Dharma, Executive Dharma and Judiciary Dharma. Previously all the three were in one monarch with a set of advisors. So our Dharma values will never be all right unless the values of rulership, that ruling, they become all right. So that is something very, very important. So Rama was empowered by Vasishtha Dev to sit on the throne and to make ample personal sacrifices when called for and uphold the welfare, cohesion, solidarity of the state. That is why he was able to abandon the throne at one time and abandon the pregnant wife at another time. This is what self-knowledge empowers you. Uddhava was empowered by Krishna to leave Dwaraka and his dear master before Krishna himself left and Dwaraka was taken by the sea. He was asked to go to Badrikashrama, sit in between Nara and Narayana mountains and contemplate upon Krishna and then shed his body. Devotees will feel even now Uddhava is there. Am I clear or not? Huh? So this verse is very, very apt. Very, very apt. Brahmanandarasānubhūti kalitaihi pūtaihi sushītairyudaihi yushmadvāk kalashodjhitaihi sudisukhairvākyāmritaih sejaya santaptam bhavatāpadāvadahanajjvālābhirenam prabho धन्यास्ते भवदीक्षण क्षणगते patrīkritaah svikritaah. Can you imagine? See, this is what happens. Why are thousands and thousands of people flocking to a place where good narration is going on, divine narration? Because it is just like cool Ganga falling on your body in summer. So the mind and the heart receive the flow of nectar, the cooling words of the teacher. The Pravakta can take the listeners anywhere he wants. They are so wedded to him that it is for him to decide where shall I lodge them. If a Pravakta tells you cock and bull story, you will be there. If they tell you about heavens, you will be there. If they tell you about the Atma Samrajya, God who is present everywhere, you will be surrounded and penetrated by God. That is what will happen. The interaction between the Guru and the Shishya is progressing. See, the knowledge is being imparted by the teacher, by the Guru. The Shishya receives. And there is a radiance, a splendor arising in his own within. It is just like sunrise, he says. Tamah karyamanarthajalam na drishyade satyudide dineshe. 319. Tamastamah karyamanarthajalam na drishyade satyudide dineshe. When the sun rises very well, automatically all the darkness vanishes. Similarly, by listening to the Sadguru, by delving deep into whatever he has said, you will find all the darkness, all the bondage, everything will vanish. Tamastamah karyamanarthajalam na drishyate satyudide dineshe. Now we go to the next verse. Drishyam pradidam pravilapayan sanmahatramahanandaghanam vibhavayan samahidah san behirantaram va kalam nayetha sadi karma bandhe. Drishyam pradidam pravilapayan san. Drishyam pradidam pravilapayan san sanmatram anandaghanam vibhavayan sanmatramanandaghanam vibhavayan samahitassan behirantaram va samahitassan behirantaram va kalam nayetha sati karma bandhe. Kalam nayetha sati karma bandhe. Pradidam pravilapayan san sanmatramanandaghanam vibhavayan samahitassan behirantaram va kalam nayetha sati karma bandhe. Drishyam pradidam pravilapayan san sanmatram आनंदघनम सन्मात्रम आनंदघनम विभावयन् समाहितः सन् बहिरन्तरं सन्बहिरन्तरं वा कालं नयेथाः सति कर्मबन्धे. What is it that we have been saying all along? All along we have been saying one important factor. In our life, right from the beginning up to the end, is it not continuously one of experience? Yes or no?
Yes.
We are always experiencing. You may experience different items. With your senses, you may experience the seemingly object things of the world. Without the senses, you experience thoughts, feelings and emotions. You also experience inquiry, doubt and knowledge. You experience wakefulness, you experience sleep, you experience dream. You experience sorrow, you experience happiness. Everything is an experience, is it not?
Yes.
Now the next question. This experience, where do you have it? Internally, inside the body or outside anywhere?
Inside.
So all your experiences, even experience of the world outside, the object world outside, you may call it, I am experiencing the object world. But tell me, the experience of the object world itself, is it objective or subjective? चुप रहते हैं क्यों? बोलिए ना खोलकर. मैं आपको देख रहा हूं, आप सभी लोग मेरे सम्मुख उपस्थित हैं, मैं देख रहा हूं, आप सभी लोग मेरे सम्मुख उपस्थित हैं, इस प्रकार का अनुभव मुझे हो रहा है. ये अनुभव बाहरी है या भीतर है? Are you accepting it?
Yes.
So you may say, I am experiencing the object world. But the object world itself is an experience that you have in the subject. Am I right or no? तब वर्ल्ड कहाँ है? आपके भीतर है या बाहर है? ये बाहर नामक जो प्रतीति है, जो अनुभव है, वो भी भीतर होता है. This do you agree or not? Now this is what he says. Drishyam pratihidam pravilapayan san. Drishya means visible. This visible refers to the object world, object existence. That drishyam pratihidam is actually a feeling and experience that you have. हमारे चारों ओर दुनिया है, इस प्रकार का जो अनुभव हो रहा है वो आंतर है, भावात्मक है. You go to sleep, lie in the same world and in the house. Will you ever experience a world? अपना शरीर तो है जरूर, फिर अनुभव नहीं होता है. जिसके प्रति जोर से अनुभव होता था, वो अनुभव अब बिल्कुल नहीं है, मिट गया है. इसको मिटाने वाला कौन है और जगाने वाला कौन है? खुद कहाँ है? भीतर है या बाहर है? This do you understand? Do you agree?
Yes.
That is what Shankara says here. Drishyam pratidam. The experience, the thought, the understanding, etc. of the visible, of the drishya, the visible world, however concrete it may be, however gross it may be, understand that it is a pratiti. It is a feeling. It is a bhava that you have. And this bhava and this feeling, they don't belong to matter or the world at all. आपके भीतर जो भाव हो रहा है, वो भाव दुनिया का है क्या? वो अपना है. Whatever feelings you have, the feelings are not belonging to the world. It is belonging to yourself. Where are the feelings occurring? Within your body, in the sphere of Chetana or consciousness. So there he says, Drishyam pradidam pravilapayan san. Dissolve it, dissolve it, dissolve it in your own inside, the mind, the consciousness. Whenever I am seeing, the seeing as an experience, is it taking place within me or outside me? I am saying I am seeing the world around, seeing the world around, seeing the world around. Agreed? But this visible world as an experience, is it inside you or outside you? So is it not floating in your mind? If you understand that it is a mind product and a mind creation, it subsists on your mind, he says, dissolve it in your mind. ये होगा या नहीं होगा? बोलिए ना जोर से, बोलिए नहीं है, होगा तो होगा. My mind product, my mind creation, something subsisting on my mind can dissolve it. It dissolves it every day when you go to sleep. सारा कुछ तो खत्म होता है. Completely it gets dissolved. So our mind has got the power to generate the objective world and also dissolve it. Then why are you worried now? Your grief is mind generated, it can be dissolved by the mind. Your desire is mind generated, it can be dissolved by the mind. Your jealousy is mind created, it can be dissolved by the mind. What is there not dissolvable by the mind? Everything. So he says, Drishyam pradidam pravilapayan san. Understand that everything arises in the way of a thought, emergence of a thought, a feeling, an emotion, a perception, a response, a reaction. Understand that the genesis of all feelings is the mind. And ultimately the feelings subside where? In your mind. So mind originates or initiates the feelings, it also dissolves the feelings. So you dissolve. Sanmatrama anandaghanam vibhavayan. How will you dissolve? Instead of thinking and indulging in the objects, you start contemplating upon the subject. Sanmatram. All the thoughts emerge and subside. But the mind which evolves, generates and also dissolves the thoughts, that seems to be continuing. So there is a Sat within us. That is what you refer to as the I, the Atma. That alone is remaining Sat. All the others are Asat. Sanmatram anandaghanam vibhavayan. In sleep, you are not linked to anything in this world. You are not linked to anything in this world. Not linked to anything at all. At all. You are not linked even to your body. And you get up and say, I had a comfortable sleep. And during sleep, did you want anything? One more house in Delhi? No. One more child? Huh? Another piece of dress for Diwali? No. You never wanted anything. Alone by yourself, not even aware of the body, aware of the world. You slept comfortably, and that too for 6 to 8 hours. So will you not agree that you are blissfulness incarnate? Will you agree or not? Yes. Soch kar boliye. So contemplate upon the Sanmatrama Anandaghanam Vibhavayan Samahita San. In the light of this knowledge, live a regulated life. Live a regulated life. Eat moderately, play moderately, read moderately, sleep moderately, work moderately, earn moderately, spend moderately. Samahitaha. At no point of time your activity should topple you, should gain control over you. The activity proceeds from you. It subsists on you. It is also terminating in you. So we are the source of everything. So in the name of any activity, you should not lose your heart, as Janaki did in front of the golden deer. What did she do? Suddenly in a moment, golden deer became greater than her Rama. Rama was 1 foot less, and golden deer was greater. You should not be. I may see a golden deer, I may see a silver deer, I may see a platinum deer. Therefore what? Nothing is superior to me. So you should not be overruled by whatever objects you see. Samahitaha. Have that stability, have that control, have that moderation, have that regulation, have that refinement. मैं हूँ और मेरे चारों ओर दुनिया भी है, दोनों के बीच कौन श्रेष्ठ है, कौन ऊंचा है? बोलिए ना, कोई नहीं बोलता। सभी बोलिए ना, इफ यू एग्री। कौन श्रेष्ठ है, कौन ऊंचा है? जो देखने वाला, जो देखा जा रहा है उससे ऊंचा है, सभी समय ऊंचा है। You are superior and the world is inferior. I am high up and the world is too low.